Hello, and welcome back, subscribers and new viewers, to another Sunday Speed Paint. Today's video is going to be two things in one. One, I'm going to be talking about the illustration that you will see on screen, and the second being just about everything to do with Undertale, alternate universes of Undertale, but more specifically in the direction of sans and every alternate universe sans that I can sandwich into this video because of a few things. The first thing is, Sans is probably one of the most, popularized characters, won the Tumblr Sexy Man Award, and all kinds of weird things on the internet. You just can't quite escape the Undertale community. It's floating around everywhere. Be it from several years ago to where we are now, there's tons of content, old and new, and I just genuinely really enjoy it, and I feel like I have been withholding myself from that self-indulgence for far too long with all of the things that I wanted to create, some of the things that I did create but wasn't proud of and never went back to redraw them and flesh it out, because I'm gonna be honest, I really wish that I would have worked on some of these things years ago, but at the same time, I will say waiting has been a benefit for me. Working on the redesigns for my reincarnated characters after finally fleshing them out was a good thing, because I am so glad I didn't go with the first ones. Because if you've seen them in my illustration, if you just search up my reincarnated playlist, you can see the old content, and oh boy, I am so much more proud of what I had done with the redesign and the ideas that I have in my head now, because I feel more artistically capable than I did a few years ago or even just last year. Feeling more motivated, more productive, more just beneficial for doing it, which is really weird, because when mentioning that I was going to be doing some more practice with it and even creating a bunch of fusions and all of that, a fair few of my close friends were just like, you might be backtracking and it might be hindering you, when for some reason for me it just kind of went whoop and rose me up higher than I had ever felt in a while since my Webtoons comic stuff that I have put on hiatus. And I found out why through, weirdly enough, working on Undertale alternate universe content. I made it with the Valentine stuff where I was just making a bunch of doodles of characters, and I forgot that I haven't doodled or come up with silly little concepts of my own original characters in so long that I feel like I had been just hindering myself for way too long by not actually producing what I used to. But with the current art knowledge and techniques for the tools that I've been using, if that makes sense. For anyone else who has projects, some of them may start only a few years ago, and you're getting on it and you're doing really well, and others like me have been having these stories in the works for many years. For me, my characters have been with me since 5 to 10 years of me trying to develop them, making pages and having to put them on hiatus because I feel that my art has what it needs to reach to a certain point. It's just that there are areas of weakness that I need to hone to keep that consistency and feel proud of for what I've been posting. And with everything that I have been researching, out of all the stuff that I could look up for the original characters and storylines, the ones that seem to have helped me with anatomy practice, because again, skeletons quite literally pretty simple to work on, to stylize bones in such a fun and fantasy whimsical way, but also just the creating an alternate universe is one of those weird ways that you can escape having to explain why something is the way that it is, because you can just change the lore to something that you like. Hence where I'm gonna start talking about the artwork on screen here. This is part of the It's You, and despite everything It's You sort of side-by-side pictures. Some people have made just a single illustration and some make actual animations. It's really, really cool. It's a fun little trend, kind of like your character that usually is an OC that has gone through trauma, the before and after. For me, it is still my OC, but it's more like my YouTube's channel mascot, and I've been enjoying working on this because I haven't actually thought about what I was gonna do for the story of the backstory of my character. Kind of like how those VTubers do their debut stories, except I'm not doing a VTuber of my avatar because I've just made fun little adaptions with the whole new Procreate Dreams and other, I am sorry, my words just decided to halt completely there. My editing skills, practicing with tweening and all these fun things have made me feel more confident in making these things myself, and also getting to just draw Stencil Fox with more expressive little sticker emotes myself has been so much fun. But that's besides the thing. With the story that I had in mind for it, creating stories with the void and lore for my channel, it is a consistency that I hope that you all will stick around for, because when making this, I thought it would be fun to actually really think about why the character has this almost like really reddish brownish hair color versus the natural brown, which matches to my own natural hair, for adding different mythical reasons behind the pointy ears, the shape-shifting ability going from humanish to anthropomorphic to the four-legged creature that you see at the beginning of the intro, and the connection with the void and all of these things. And this monstrous thing that you see in the first picture quite literally could be the, like, a fantasy representation of the people or the things that of my past caused the traumas. Having to mask emotions, the little religious cross necklace thingy, which for those who don't know, I have mentioned in previous videos, it's where Dangel, my half-demon and angel character, used to come from. Then it turned into a character named Blight for venting, and so on and so forth to where I am now. It's just one thing that kind of chain connected to others, and I was one of those people, and I still do have this, who, when Undertale came out, I was listening to a bunch of the songs and everything, and I'm sure everybody at some point, when you get to the mirror scene, that it's you, despite everything, it's still you, from the before and after of it, it's weirdly touching and heartfelt, and it just kind of makes you think about things. And for me, at that time, I'm pretty sure that 2015 was literally the year that I finished high school, and was slowly moving up in the world, and literally growing up and having to do a whole bunch of things, and change. And with my character, I wanted to show that development as well with this funky little illustration, because me, even from a few years ago, just before I moved to the UK to be with my husband, had a completely different schedule that was so filled with anxiety of I only had, at most, if I was lucky, a couple of hours before or after work or college or whatever I was doing, even family time, that stressed me out so much so that I was working on autopilot with the things that I had enjoyed to where I can't even remember, nor would I be able to tell you, even with the time-lapse footage that I've archived for myself on the YouTube channel with everything. I can't tell you what I was thinking when making it. I don't even know what I was doing back then with all of it, but what I can say is that I am very proud and happy with where I am today with everything that I've persisted upon. I do not think that I would have what I do if not for the weird development of just me actually sitting back and slowly, acclimating or adjusting to where I am now, where even though everything is almost reversed, where I've got plenty of time with it, I was slowly realizing that I was, even last year, making things and sacrificing the quality for the quantity, having to reduce down the videos that I used to upload, a multitude of like almost 10 to 20 a month down to a more reasonable 3, and actually working on it a few weeks or even a few days ahead of the schedule rather than doing it last minute and posting it literally the day of or the day before. It's really a big old weight off the chest kind of thing, and something that I have enjoyed is it can be a distraction, but it can be beneficial, where you look up other stuff that already exists, and I have to shove my like envious and greedy and other kinds of things just self off to the side and remember that I do not have to be like all of these other things that exist out there, but learning something that I didn't know that could be done from someone else is the best way that I can explain how I've taken in all of the stuff that I've digested. I've mentioned this in another video. It's kind of like I take things almost like an art quilt and stitch them together and use what I feel I actually can use for myself rather than trying to do it someone else's way. I've learned that many times over, that I should just do things when I want to because I want to and not for anyone else in particular, but it is like a fun additional little just bonus kind of thing if others enjoy what I've made. And I feel like that's something for every single like alternate universe story that I see out there is I am so glad for each and every single one of these that exists, because everything that branched out from Sans to Fell to Flowerfell, Swap, the weird blueberry version of him, or just Blue is the nickname of them, to Ink and Air specifically, Nightmare Dream, Killer, Dust Horror, those main ones that people seem to know the most of, because if not for all of those characters, I wouldn't have found some of the other stories like Swap Fell, Fell Swap, Color, Delta, Chess, Bird, Dance Farm, G-Sans, Gans specifically, Story Shift, Science, Paper Crane, Rewind, Seventh Soul most recently, the Bitty Bones, like, versions of them, the Abyss, Undertale kind of, I'm still reading up on some of these, and even from TikTok, like, I've discovered, like, Hardtail, Sugar, Mafia, Fell, some of them are old, some of them are new. Despite all of these AUs, some of them have actually disappeared. It's one of those things that I enjoy and am grateful for the ones that exist and are still archived to this day. Because if not for them, I don't think I would have had some of the ideas and inspirations and that drive without them. Some stories still stick with me, and that's something I hope that some of my own creations can be able to do, is because, I'll be honest, even though it's a really weird one, it's really weird that through the testaments of time that Undertale and all of its AU stories have stuck with me the most, despite Pokemon, anime, all of these things. It is the one that has stuck with me the most because of the multitude of the community of a multiple, be it artists, writers, and you name it, that still to this day carry on, and it's really motivating and inspiring to me personally, and some of the things that have been said, and particularly for me, the music as well. I listen to the soundtracks, be it canonical stuff or the fan-made ones, it's all phenomenal to me. Additionally, I'm just very happy to be able to produce these videos, because I genuinely feel if I was still in the same position I was years ago, I would not be able to create the content that I do to the level of standards that I have for myself now. And that's not to say that I'm setting the bar way too high now, it's just that the quantity versus quality of the videos is now more even, I feel, to where the quality of these videos has gone up dramatically from the last times that I had, where years ago, or even just a year ago, I felt like I was rushing a bunch of stuff, as well as also didn't have a proper schedule, and was making these videos and recording them literally the day before I scheduled them for to be posted. And also, as you may notice, I've also been not having to cut out as much of the audio, and I've been attempting to work with my iPad's microphone for it so that it is still entertaining for you all. And for those who are new, it is just how I talk. No matter how many times I try to, if I try to stifle my words, I end up making it sound too robotic. It genuinely just feels like I am sitting in a conference room staring at a whole bunch of strangers and looking at note cards and slowly turning my head down, looking back up again. It's very awkward feeling, and I don't like that. It's something for this channel that I've wanted to work on adapting so that you guys can just get me natural flow conversation, and also so that I don't have to constantly rethink, did I already say that in the beginning, middle, or end of this video? And then have to rewind and re-record all over again. Plus, I just genuinely enjoy getting to just, by the end of these videos, and by the time that I'm done recording, sit back and take a nice deep exhale, and just to be like, mission accomplished. And also to just hear the feedback from you guys, because again, these videos, though I don't exactly know what I'm doing, I know a lot more of what I'm aiming for, the direction for these videos, than I did when I first started making them. And I know this is like probably the post-credits type of thing that you would find at the end of the videos, and this is more rambly than the initial bits that I was sharing about the whole Undertale stuff, but really altogether, I feel like it's part of those things that when you experience something all of your own, it's a core thing that just sticks with you, and it's something that you remember for good reason, and I feel like for me, be it negative or positive, there are things that stick with me that have turned me into the person that I am, and I don't think I would change it. Even if it is difficult, it is part of life's ups and downs that I happily take with me, and I'm excited to see where this kind of leads to. Undertale for me right now is the thing that's been motivating and getting me to work on things that I never thought that I could. And for those of you who enjoy it, I hope that it is a bonus, and for those of you who are curious, I am not only going to be doing Undertale and skeleton stuff, it's just currently what I believe would be hyperfixations, but in a good way, to help me with things, as well as also, like I said, just trying to flesh out some fun stuff with my characters since I have so many of them. If I don't pick and choose something to stick with for consistency's sake, I'm gonna flip-flop like I did a year ago and end up with a whole mess and second-guessing myself, which is something that I don't want to do, especially for those of you who are looking for some of that consistency and want to see more of the projects that I have. That's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so very much. If you have not already, don't forget to leave some likes and comments and subscribe to join the Subscribblers squad. In the meantime, don't forget to check out some of my playlists, and if you would like any fan artwork featured at the end of the video in the Subscribblers gallery, tag me in it. I would love to see what you guys make, and if you'd like to support my works and see more, check out my card link below, especially for the patron exclusive rewards. £2 a month, the Fennec Fox tier gets you access to secret sketches and artwork early. The Arctic Foxes, for £5 a month, you get exclusive access to videos and webtoons pages early, and the Red Foxes have the opportunity to be featured as a background character or a commission instead, and your name read out at the end of the videos just like this. Thank you so much to Frankie Jr. 13 and Spot Draws. Stay possum, Subscribblers, and I'll see you real soon.